Hey guys, welcome back to Bendy Lone Wolf. We're gonna get things started with day 30, so just remember that no matter which level you choose, you will automatically go to the Bendy Land Warehouse where we will have a short animatronic boss encounter. Just do the same thing we've been doing the entire time. Luckily, I'm sure you noticed in the last one with the mallet, you only have to hit the animatronic twice. Now, once it's charging, you'll have to hit it once to stop the charge, and then twice to knock out a chunk of health. You cannot hit it while it's running, so keep that in mind. And then you get 5 slugs for your troubles once the animatronic is dead. Remember to scour the entire area to pick up any remaining slugs. There are usually maybe 7 or 8, maybe 10 that are hanging around. I don't know. I thought it was interesting on day 10. The first time I came through here, and I had no idea that there was a boss encounter on day 10. So when I saw this, I was very confused. I don't think I picked this level. But now that we've done it a few times, I think it's a little repetitive. But I will say that pretty much everything in this game is repetitive. You're basically doing the same things. So the levels change, the layout of the rooms change, but you do the same thing each time. And then for finding your collectibles, the collectibles change and the vehicle that holds the collectibles changes, but you still have to do the same thing. The hard part is kind of figuring out where to find each collectible, like in which floor do you find each one and how many different ones are on that floor. So anyway, we came back over to the arcade to spend some slugs, and I'm going really fast with this because it is pretty time consuming. And it looks like we're mostly getting repeats. You get the bald guy a lot. I unfortunately don't remember his name, but once you're finished, I'm going to go and take a look. See, we didn't get anything new. We still have the same 4 plushies that we had to begin with. So let's try going into some new levels. Maybe that'll trigger finding the others, but I don't think so, because in my first playthrough, the very first time that I played the arcade machine, I actually found all 3 plushies that are on the right side first, and I had to come back later and find the 4 that were on the left. So I don't think that matters. Anyway, let's go back into the tunnels for day number 31. And your second time through the tunnels, you should be able to pick up the elevator button. But right now, I'm not really worrying about that because we have to go back there anyway. You can see, man, it could just be me. I'm sure you've noticed, I tend to have trouble in the levels that have the inky water that's just pooled on the floors, because I had a lot of trouble in the abyss as well, and that had a lot of ink pooled up on the floor, and so does this. And I think that's why everything looks the same to me in these levels. You could have a very different experience with this, but it just took me so long to be able to pinpoint, like when I walk in a room and have that feeling like, oh, I know this room always has 2 areas that attach to it. You know, it took me so long to have that feeling in this area where I knew where I was in a way. I mean, you never really know where you are because it's all RNG, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I also find it's more frustrating because as you go, the levels seem to get longer. Like there are more and more areas that are actually attached. You know, rooms attached to rooms attached to rooms. It does seem to get longer the more you progress through the levels and the more elevator buttons you find and that sort of thing. So most likely, if you went back right now and went to the studio for your next day, the studio would have way more rooms attached to each other than when you first went there. And I can say that because I actually did it when I did my hard playthrough. And I don't show any of this because this is way too much. So I'm just showing you the normal gameplay because everything I did in hard is the exact same thing I did here. But I played it different. I went through each level until I got the elevator button. Once I got the elevator button and made it back to the safe house, I moved on to the next level until I got that elevator button. And I did every single one that way until I got to the end. And once I got to the end, then I went back and started grinding to find the collectibles that I needed to actually finish the story. So the collectibles that actually give you a question box. So after getting all the way through all of the levels, I did go back to the studio. And it was still way easier than the later levels, but they went on a lot longer. Like rooms attached to rooms attached to rooms, way more than the first time you go through. Also, the final enemy, like, because we've pretty much seen all of the enemies except for one. Because once you open up the box that has the Butcher Gang in it, and you get down to the abyss and you start encountering the ink bats and the ink spiders, that's pretty much all of your enemies except one. Well, that enemy, even though it's not an ink enemy, it's it's a weapon. It will start appearing in the other levels. Like you go back and start grinding for collectibles, and out of nowhere, this enemy will just pop up out of the floor. It's really cool, and it does add an element of, okay, well now this is a little bit different. Now I have this other thing that I need to worry about. And it breaks the monotony some. So it actually was pretty nice to go back through those levels and have that added threat that wasn't there before. And you know, I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but not really, because we're going to find this in the very next level, and we've got the elevator button to go there. You can see it right there in the corner. I'm about to grab it. So I'm not getting that far ahead of myself. Anyway, while you're down here, don't forget to look for those lost pages. We need 3 more to unlock the secret boss in the gallery. So keep your eyes peeled for those. They're typically on barrels. And they're just a white sheet of paper with a handprint, so pretty easy to spot, especially, like see right there, it's pretty easy to spot, especially against all of this black ink that seems to be all over the ground. And you know, I didn't touch on this before, but you can see that Boris is walking around with a bone in his mouth. And at some point, you're pretty much guaranteed to find the bone just in a locker somewhere. And it'll say, you know, Boris's favorite bone or whatever. I don't know what it does. I don't know if it's just cosmetic or if it adds... I don't know. I don't know what it does. I'm thinking maybe it adds stamina. I know it doesn't add resiliency because even before you have the bone, you have a 3-hit maximum. If you get hit a 4th time, you die. And that doesn't change. It's not like you can get hit 1 extra time if you have the bone. So I don't know what it's for. Now, there is a golden bacon soup can that you can find, and I think you find it in lockers. That adds to your stamina. So if, like, you can pick it up. So let's say you save and exit to upload to the cloud. When you get back into the game and you hit continue, Boris is going to be sitting at the table in the safe house, and he'll be, bobbing his head and tapping his fingers to the music. And when you get up, you can pick up the bone off the table. It will be sitting on the table, and you can pick it up and put it back in Boris's mouth. And then when you leave that room and go to where the bacon soup dispenser is in the hallway, next to that, I think it's on some boxes or a crate or something, if you found the golden bacon soup can, you can pick it up, and he doesn't drink it. It's like he just carries it on him. So that increases your stamina, so you can go longer periods without having to stop and refuel at a bacon soup station. So if any of you know what Boris's favorite bone does, if anything, would you please let me know in the comments, because I have not been able to figure that out, and I'm really curious. And if it doesn't do anything, that kind of sucks. I think it should do something. I think 3 hits is fair. So maybe not increase your durability, but maybe it should make you run faster or something like that. I don't know. I think that would be awesome to be able to run faster. So I don't know. Maybe it does and I just didn't notice it. Who knows? That's why I'm asking you guys to help me, because I don't know. Anyway, it looks like we are almost finished with this level. We have only 2 items left to pick up. Oh, I love that. When you walk into a room that has the middle square thing, because then you can sneak around and hide from the ink demon, and he never even knows you're there. I really like that. Okay, so we have not been in here, obviously, because the lockers aren't opened. And if you've noticed, we've opened a lot of lockers, and all we found is slugs. We have not found a record. I don't think you can find records anywhere but the music department level. Now, at this point, we could possibly find the 5th weapon. Remember to hit those crates. I don't think that I went and messed with the ink toy before we came in here, but it is still a possibility, because I could be completely wrong about that. See, that guy just totally snuck up on me while I was trying to open this, and I never saw him because the floor is full of black ink. It's very frustrating. I don't like the levels with the ink all over the floor. That's okay, because we're almost done. And I'm not going to be going through this again. Now, when we do our secret level, like once we find all the papers and go through the secret level, I am going to go through that completely. But if we just come to farm anything here, I'm just going to cut it and show you what you came to see, not actually going through all these levels. As I said before, the only reason that I do this at all, going through the levels until we get the elevator button, is just to help you guys get more familiar with the level before you actually play it, and to have an idea of where to look for collectibles. So, hallelujah, that's done. Put your supplies in the crate, and then you can go and have a peek in the gallery to see if we have everything that we need, or if we need another go through of the tunnels. So as you can see, we only have 4 out of 5 of the lost papers. And I'm pretty sure I was right. I don't think you can find 3 of one type of collectible in one day. I think 2 is the limit. But you can find 3 if you're collecting more than one type of collectible. I don't know. It's just a theory. So, if you want to, you can go and mess with your ink toy. Oh, we got the Repairman trophy because we inserted the final elevator button. So, mark that off your list. Repairman is for having access to every single floor in the game. So before you go down here, you can go in the safe house, interact with the ink toy 3 times, and then come down here to try to find that fifth weapon. So it's possible that I may go through this entire day down here because we do have one more lost paper to find. And I guess I am going to go through it. This one is a pretty short day, though. And by the way, this is something I should have said a long time ago, and I'm sure that you figured it out now. And I thought about saying it, and then I forgot what I wanted to say when I started video 2, and I could not remember. So I'm just going to say it now. When you go into a hiding box, a safe box, once you exit it, you'll see a little clock that pops up over it, and it counts down time until you can re-enter the box. So be very careful. Don't exit it too early to where there's a possibility that the ink demon could spot you while you're getting out of the box, because you won't be able to turn around and go back in until that little clock fills up. I know it's a shame that I waited until video 7 to say that, but for the life of me, I guess maybe I'm just getting old. I couldn't remember. I knew there was something important I wanted to say after I recorded video 1 and before I started video 2. This is why I write everything down. I didn't write it down. So just now I remembered what I wanted to say. But you guys are super smart, and I'm sure you figured that out a long time ago, and you didn't need me to tell you anything. So yes, this day, we're on day number 32 right now, is a pretty short day. It's less than 10 minutes, so I guess it's not so bad that I went through the entire day. And I know for sure that we will be finding the final paper, because the next day is the special boss section. It could also be that I'm blind, why I can't see the enemies because the floor is covered in ink. My vision is poor. I know I've said that before, but man, I just cannot see those guys. It's like they just blend into the floor. Probably because they're all made of the same thing. They're all made of ink. And as I'm recording, like voice recording, I'm watching my gameplay as I record, but I can't hear it. I can't hear any of the music or anything. It's just quiet. So I know that while I was playing it, most of the time here, when you see me react to an enemy, like just in that corner, I walked up to go get the slug and a searcher popped out. I actually didn't see him. I heard him. And that's most of what I'm reacting to in these areas, is hearing the enemy approaching or hearing the enemy come out of the ink on the floor. I'm not actually seeing them. So if they're quiet and I can't hear them, I'm not going to see them, and they're able to sneak up and get a free hit on me. So like that little spider there got me, and it's because I didn't see him and I didn't hear him. because he was so quiet. So just be mindful of that. So you see the clock on there? You have to wait. So it's roughly 2 to 3 seconds. Once you exit your hiding box, it's roughly 2 to 3 seconds before you can re-enter it. So keep that in mind. Oh, he was sneaking up on me and I never saw him. I never saw him. I don't know, maybe you guys can hear it, but I did not see or hear him. And of course, going through all of these levels and trying to make sure that you don't forget anything, that you've actually explored every area so that you can find all 6 supply items or any collectibles that you might be looking for. It is, it can be super repetitive. So just do your best to get through it. If you really like, for trophy hunters, this is a super easy platinum. If you're save scumming on hard, even that's not that bad. It can be annoying that when you die you have to go and reload from the cloud and download it to your console, because it takes a couple of seconds, I guess, maybe a minute total. But other than that, you know, this is a super easy platinum to get. So if you're just looking to bulk up your platinum trophies, this is definitely a good way to do it. And it gives a lot of gold and silver trophies as well, and you don't get that very much. Sometimes I'm surprised with how difficult some games are. Even, you know, some things that they give you bronze trophies for, I'm like, man, that should have at least been a silver, maybe even a gold, and they're giving me bronze. And I did see a lot of that in Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers. Lot of bronze trophies. This one doesn't do that. Although, really, there should, if it was rated properly with the trophies, then most likely you would only have, you know, 1 gold trophy for beating the game on hard, and maybe 1 silver trophy for finding the final weapon, and everything else besides the platinum would be bronze. But this game doesn't do that, so it does help to boost your score. Not to mention it's cute. If you like Bendy, it's a cute game. But I will say, I'm looking forward to the next one. And I haven't seen a whole lot about it. But it seems like I saw something that shows we're going to be playing as Henry. Again, I hope so. I hope so. It was nice in the Dark Revival playing the lady. I don't remember her name, but I'd rather go back and be Henry again. So we're getting right to the end here. We're going to grab our final item and make a run for the lift as soon as I can figure out how to get back to the hub area. That's what I'm saying. You know, this all looks so much the same. It's quite frustrating. Okay, it looks like that's our final item. I'm pretty much just trying to figure out where we have to go, like which direction. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Grab the item, make a run for the lift. Oh no. Hopefully the ink demon doesn't get me. Oh, there he is. Oh my goodness. I was so lucky. So lucky. These parts are really tense and stressful. You spend so much time just wandering around looking for stuff that when you get to this part, it's like an immediate switch flip with the intensity. So back at the safe house, drop off all of your supplies and make sure to save and scum if you're doing that. And let's make our way down to the gallery. We're going to go ahead and deal with our secret boss area that's down here. As you can see when you get close to the wall, we have 5 out of 5 pictures. So let's do this.
Two lost souls met in the shadows. And agreed to play a game. A game of hide and seek. One ran off, eager to be found.
So as you can see, we'll be playing as Porter, and we have to play hide and seek with Heidi. So we have Flo as Porter, which is a nice callback to the Dark Revival. Porter is going to walk around. He doesn't have a headlamp or a flashlight or anything. So this gives you an idea of what it would be like to walk around down here without the headlamp on. You're pretty much just going to walk around and look for Heidi. She's typically sitting on top of barrels. And when you find her, you just walk up to her and interact with her. And we need to do that 3 times. So you don't have to worry about opening lockers, or you don't have a weapon to break anything. You don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is find Heidi 3 times. And you should remember Heidi from the Dark Revival. You find her toward the end of the game in one of the final areas, the Gent Workshop. And she's friendly. She's hiding a lot, and she's not an enemy. She's very friendly. And Porter, you meet toward the beginning of the game, and he teaches you how to flow, where you can use, I guess, your power to quickly move while flowing through the ink. So here you can see Heidi sitting there. Just interact with her and she'll disappear and go hide somewhere else. So that's pretty much all you do. You just walk around, look for Heidi, avoid the ink demon. And if he spots you, you need to try to flow to get away from him quickly and find a hiding box. So this is a little more laid back and chill than a lot of the other boss, quote unquote, boss encounters that we've had. Definitely less panic inducing, because in the case of both the projectionist and Alice, those characters, in my opinion, are much more intense than the ink demon. Porter is a lot, not Porter, the projectionist is a lot faster than the ink demon. So that's where that stress comes from. And then Alice, I mean, she's insane. If you've played any of the other Bendy games, she is insane and very masochistic. So just her presence creeps me out. here, you only have the ink demon to worry about. So it does kind of lighten the tension a little bit because by this point, you've gotten used to the ink demon. You know exactly what to expect from him, and there's not so much trepidation. So here you can see Porter can go and hide in the hiding boxes. Nothing to worry about there, just stay out of the ink demon's way. Now I will say, what's different about this is once you leave the area that you spawned in from, you don't necessarily have to go back. I did make my way back there right there, but you really don't even have to. Almost all of these times I've done this, all these tunnels interconnect amongst themselves. So no matter whether you go up, down, left, or right from that main area, it doesn't really matter. Almost all of them are going to interconnect. And because you're playing hide and seek and you're not waiting for a lift to come and get you at the end, because once you find Heidi the third time, you just get a cutscene. You don't have to run for a lift or anything like that. So because of that, there's a lot less pressure, and it's not like there's any specific direction that you can go that's going to guarantee you Heidi, because basically wherever you go the first time, you're pretty much guaranteed to find her. Here you can see we found her for a second time. She doesn't necessarily move to a different section of tunnel once you find her, you know. What I'm saying is it's a lot easier than it seems, because you know, we've been walking around these tunnels for a while now, and this time we don't have a light, we don't have a weapon, so you feel a lot more vulnerable. Like, having flow is great, but we don't have a weapon to protect ourselves at all. But there's also no other enemies except for the ink demon, so we don't really need a weapon. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot, there's a lot of give and take for this. I think they did a pretty good balance of it, though. It's a pretty good balance. We're getting pretty close to the end here. We have roughly 3 more minutes before the end of the video, so I know I'm getting close to finding Heidi. I think this was the only time that I actually went through all 4 areas from where you spawn in. Every other time I did this, I didn't have to. There she is, hiding in that corner. Once you interact with her, you'll get a cutscene.
2 lost souls were playing a game. One was named Heidi. One was named Porter. Porter escaped. Heidi did not.
When the cutscene finishes, you earn the Hide and Creep trophy, and unfortunately, Heidi was caught. But we do get our last question box here on this table. And again, you can only shake it. We won't be able to open them until we open up the Gent workshop or the Gent lab. I can't recall. Before we end the video, let's go and try one more time our luck at the claw machine. We have over 100 slugs, so we've got quite a few chances that we can take. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. You can see I'm getting a lot of repeats and nothing. But no worries. There, I think we got a Bendy. And come on. More repeats. We got a Boris. And we need an Alice Angel. Let's get an Alice Angel. Come on. Oh, we got Alice first. Bendy was last. Okay, so we earned the Fuzzy Friends trophy. When you get out of the claw machine, you can take a look at all of your plushies that are sitting on the table. We have all 7. Nothing to worry about with the 8th mystery one. Hopefully that'll be added in later, along with whatever floor we don't have access to yet that just has question marks. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Anyway, that's pretty much everything we have going on in this video. Make sure that you save before the end. You can come over to the ink toy, interact with it 3 times, and then go make your save. And when we come back in part 8, we're going to go down to the final level, I believe. So thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It really, really helps the channel. And I'll see you back here in part 8. Until then, Khajiit always has wares.